Good afternoon, everybody. Texas Redleg here. Hope you're having a good week. We're halfway through it. Things I wanted to talk about today is basically one topic that has, a schematic below it. And that topic is security. But within security, there's different levels and tiers and offshoots of this and that. But I just wanted to go over about 4 of them today. And I'm sure other people have a different set of opinions on this, maybe different thoughts or whatever. But I'm going to kind of go through my I would call them top 4 things with regard to security. And these really don't involve food, so to speak, or water. Those are more preps. I sort of separate that from security. Although having those things does provide you some food security and such. But with regards to security, I think the biggest thing that we can do as preppers and as just general folks is to have the right mindset. And it's sort of I'll call it sort of a stigma or a curse almost to be security minded, because once you dive off into that realm, it kind of consumes your way of thinking, at least if you're doing it properly, in my opinion. You're always thinking about it. So, your mindset, your situational awareness, your ability to assess risks and manage risks are huge. And that's where it all needs to start. Think like a criminal. If you were a criminal, what would you do? What kind of victims would you be looking for? What type of houses to rob would you be looking for? What type of person would you be looking to carjack or, rob? And I think most of us can probably agree that criminals in general look for easy, passive targets. They look for people that aren't going to give them any trouble, that they're just going to go take what you want, and that's it. So my ideas to combat that are to have a keen eye, have a deliberate approach when it comes to being in public or going places or even being at home or running to the store, whatever the case may be. You need to have your head on a swivel. You need to slow down a little bit. When you go to the store, or let's back up, when you leave the house, say you park in the garage, when you leave the house, I know a lot of people just go ahead and go out the garage door from the house and hit the garage door button and let the door go up, and they're just standing in their garage. Well, what if there's somebody waiting outside? As soon as your garage door opens, they're in the house. They got you. So maybe you back up a little bit. Let's go ahead and open the garage door from the house. Go ahead and get in our vehicle. Then hit the button to the garage door. You can lock your vehicle doors while you're in it. You're safe for the most part. Once your garage door is up, you back out. You're in your vehicle, it's locked. You hit the button and you close your garage door. So you're in a secure position all the time. So I think it's just, again, it's a mindset. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of life. And once you get in the habit of doing these things, they just sort of happen. You don't even think about them. So having the right mindset, using situational awareness, risk assessment, and just staying alert all the time. If something doesn't feel right, boogie, go somewhere else, do something different. Trust your instincts. Another area of security, obviously, is tools and hardware. By tools and hardware, I'm referring to bang sticks, freedom seeds, and all the accessories that go along with that. You obviously have, lethal tools and non-lethal tools. I think that for those of you that are new to bang sticks in the area of self-defense, need to practice and get as much of that in as you can. Get familiar with those things, understand how they work, understand how to clear jams, do some dry firing. Don't overdo it, screw up your firing pins, but be aware that the tools and hardware that you have for security, they're there for a reason. You have to be willing and able to utilize them in order to protect yourself from, with deadly force if necessary. So are you willing to do that? If you're not willing to do that, then, your ability to thrive and survive in terms of an SHTF situation are probably pretty slim, unless you've got people around you that obviously can fill that void for you. So with regard to security, there's obviously another tier to that, and that goes off to, your home, your dwelling. And with regard to your house, whether you live in an apartment or a home or a travel trailer, I don't know, wherever you live, you can set up surveillance cameras, you can monitor them, there's all sorts of, perimeter alarms you can get if you live out in the woods. There's just a lot of things you can YouTube or Google to, enhance your security from a surveillance perspective or from an alarm perspective out there. There's a lot of different things you can get, and some of them aren't very expensive either. For a house or an apartment, you can reinforce your door frames. There's a way you can get some really long, framing type screws that 3 inches that will go through the, king studs all around your door frame and make sure that you have a good reinforced connection supporting that actual door opening. There's a lot of stuff like that you can do. There's also these little sort of like floor jack poles that you can put underneath the knob, and against the floor, and it keeps that door from being able to be kicked in or pushed in. They basically would have to destroy the entire door to beat this device, and hell, you can hopefully get out of a window or something or a back door by the time that happens. So, a lot of these things are just designed to give you more time to get out of a bad situation should it occur. So, with regard to your house, reinforced doors, surveillance cameras, additional locking devices that can, give you time to escape should that be necessary. And then another area with security is obviously your vehicle. Now, you hopefully have your, bug out bag or your EDC bag with you, all the time anyway. So if it comes to getting inside of a vehicle, or you're just going to the store, dropping the kids off at school, or going on a trip, or bugging out, hopefully you've got that item with you, because you never know where you're gonna be or when it's gonna happen if you need to have that with you. So you might as well just keep it with you all the time. But with regard to vehicles, if you've only got one, lethal tool in your inventory, have it with you. I would encourage those of you that are capable and willing to go to a longer, type of bang stick for those vehicles, whether it be the scatter type or the mag fed type. I would definitely have a longer bang stick to defend against whether it be large groups of people or another vehicle, perhaps. It would be really tough if you got caught in one of these riot zones with nothing more than one of these. You need something to get yourself out of trouble. And I would encourage everybody to consider having a longer, more lethal, more far-reaching bang stick in their possession inside of a vehicle, or have access to it from your vehicle if that's something that were to occur. And keep it obviously out of plain view. There's ways to disguise these things. There's all sorts of stuff out there where you can store something like that in your vehicle. Now the trick is you got to lock your vehicle, and get in the habit of doing that as well. But there are ways that you can really camouflage things and hide things in plain view, so to speak, or hide in plain sight, so to speak, where people won't even be able to tell if they look inside. So I would consider that. Also with your vehicle, have some emergency type things. Have an air pump. It plugs into your cigarette lighter adapter. Ability to change a tire, maybe a plug kit, maybe some oil, some, brake fluid, some basic hand tools, a rag or two, things like that to just hopefully get you somewhere safe if that's, something that you break down of some kind and some type, and you can just twist a wrench here or there and get yourself back on the road or get limping in somewhere to be safe. So, security. Have the right mindset. Make things habitual. Make assessing places that you go using good judgment as, a factor in determining when and where you go and what you do. Whether it's going to the store at midnight on a Saturday night, is it something that you really need at midnight, or can it wait till the next day when it's daylight, when everybody's asleep? Pick your spots, I guess is what I'm saying. Use good judgment. If it's not something that you have to have tonight, why take the risk and go out if it's just going to probably end up in a bad situation? So mindset, tools and hardware, home defense, and vehicle defense. Change the way you think about things. Don't be afraid. Be enabled, be enabled and empowered. And the only way to do that is to change the way that you think. And again, if you're at home during the day, you work from home, look out the windows every now and then. See what's going on. See what kind of vehicles rolling up down your neighborhood streets. Who's walking around. Do you know your neighbors? Are they keeping an eye out? Are you guys on the same page? I think it makes sense to, strengthen numbers at this point. I think everybody needs to think about that. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a good week. We're halfway through it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your interaction and your comments. And with that, keep prepping, stack it deep, and long live the Republic.